Yo, so pilot episode of the podcast to be named later.
Yeah, TBD.
TBD. It is
TBD AEW.
Yeah, it's Nick Tullo, aka Tiptoe Tullo from Cal Podcast. Philip, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Philip. I'm from the Stokes County Boys, the creator and mastermind behind that, and I drug along my good friend Patrick with that, and that's how we met. Well, through the Comedians of Wrestling podcast as well, Nick, and then you're on our show, and then things evolved or devolved from there,
And now I am a Stokes County Boy podcast fan. I've been listening ever since what episode has it recently? I think Stu's Ninja Turtle episode.
Oh yeah.
Like I've listened to episodes before, but you have to digest media as
right.
Find the time to do things. But now my boy Stu's Woods on there, and I'm like, this podcast rules. And then this is the brainchild. So you guys understand, I'm giving you a little behind the scenes of how this has come about. I listened to your All Out episode with you, Patrick, and your what was your other friend's name?
Well, we had my friend AJ. It was his 40th birthday party, and Zach was there too.
And Zach was there too. But who stayed around at the end? AJ? That
was the four of us. Yeah.
Oh, but I thought there was only 3 people on the pod.
No, well, AJ, you probably didn't hear much from because he was
out cold.
He was getting sleepy.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, long shows, long days, long day drinking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I've been thinking about doing something AEW for a while now. Like when I was streaming all the time, which I haven't been doing, and honestly don't know if I'm gonna go back to doing it because
it's a lot of work.
For those of you who don't know, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. You got to consistently show up. And right now with work and stuff, I don't have the time. But I do have this itch, and I've had this itch for a while to do an AEW podcast. But yeah, we had the double rig where we watched Dark and Elevation, and all it was AEW talk. So awesome. Dark and Elevation, awesome show. And I actually haven't watched Dark and Elevation recently, but like, man, it's awesome. I could tell it is. Alley Catch versus Swole. So anyway, I listened to your episode, and I'm listening to the way you fucking are marking out like a fucking maniac. And I'm like, I've been thinking about doing this AEW show, but I didn't want to do it by myself where I would always have to constantly bring on guests, which is great, which is what we plan on doing anyway. But you need like a wingman, and it's funny, AEW reference. You need like a wingman in this situation because this shit is too good. There's too much happening.
Oh, yeah.
And you need somebody else who loves this shit too. So like I'm wearing my Bebe Adam Cole shirt, which is funny. It's an NXT shirt, but I love how we have crossed over into this era where this Adam Cole Bebe shirt is a great AEW shirt now.
Yeah.
Which was never possible before. So I'm pumped to be here. We're going to talk everything AEW. And now I know some of you might be thinking, oh, is this like a Cal thing or is this Stoke County Boys thing? No, this is something completely separate where 2 worlds have collided, and it has birthed this new markdom for AEW, and it's necessary. Like, we're gonna take over the AEW podcasting world, and it's gonna be the best time ever because wrestling's awesome, and so is AEW. Phil.
Yeah. So I'll just say it was pretty cool. You just like hit me up. You're like, hey, I got this idea. I was like, give it to me, and then. You're like, you want to do an AEW pod, and I'll just say, to paraphrase the Ghostbuster Winston Zeddemore, when someone asks if you want a pod, you say yes. So,
and all these years, it finally comes back around to make this doesn't have anything to do with podcasting at all. And now it still applies to this day though.
Yeah, it was a paraphrase. But so I'm excited. Yeah, it's cool. It's like but at the same time, like that's why I mean my thought process, that All Out thing, it was just an amazing, awesome show. Mm-hmm. We went there, it was a friend's birthday. We're going there, and I got in the back of my head, I was like, I want to talk about this. I want to use this for Stokes County Boys. But sometimes we've done a previous AEW show talking about wrestling, But that particular audience, it's like, I got a lot more to do. I can't just do one here and there. So, and especially with this particular, what is it? This particular company.
Yes.
This is the one I want to talk about because there's so much going on. It's much bigger. I love the indies and I love what they're doing, but it's hard to like catch everything and stay up to date with everything, especially when I don't live in a lot of the markets where there's really good indie scene, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where it's at, and it's just so refreshing. But at the same time, it calls back to a previous age. You know, we both were kind of coming of age during the Attitude Era, the late 90s. And so it kind of leans, it hints at that, but it also kind of is pushing, you know, wrestling forward in a way. I just love it. And obviously I don't like everything, and I'm not like, I'm not the, you know, there's certain people that kind of pick a brand or whatever. It's like, no. But everything I see on here, I just get excited about what's going on. I want to see what's going to happen next. I mean, that's what professional wrestling is. You enjoy what you're seeing, but you're also thinking about the future. That's one thing about wrestling. You always got to think, well, what's happening the next week? What's happening at the next show? So, yeah, I'm excited about it. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I feel like my fandom, I don't know why Rebirth keeps coming up, but is that the right Rebirth?
It's reborn.
I don't even know.
It's reborn.
I feel like my fandom has been reborn. And I am from Long Island, New York. I've spent many of my days and years of my life in Queens. I am a New York Mets fan, diehard Islanders fan. And this fucking beautiful night called Grand Slam is taking place in literally my old backyard.
Yeah.
It is the first thing that has happened that has got me being like, God damn, I wish I still fucking lived on Long Island.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, and I like started freaking out where I'm like, I could fly in. I'm off Wednesday. Fly in, see the show, don't sleep, fly back out. Just have to take off Thursday, whatever, you know, like
you're just doing some insane calculations about how you can make it work. And then you have to pull back and be like, what am I doing?
Gotta reel myself in here. Like, I mean, but at the same time, worth it. Like, no doubt to travel and see this company now. Like, they're just doing this. This is a Wednesday night at Arthur Ashe Stadium, a brand like beautiful fucking stadium. They're selling this place out. Most attended AEW event ever.
Right. Yeah.
It's in Queens. They got nothing but on the card. It's wrestlers stacked from New York, just stacked. You're getting Kenny Omega versus Daniel Bryan. You're getting fucking Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho.
Why don't we get into that? Like, I mean, it's so.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Let's just talk about it because it's like, where to start? I mean, it's just it's amazing. Like the card they're gonna have, and it's gonna be a lot. So I mean, this card's just like humongous. It's like both nights. Obviously, the Dynamite show has kind of. I mean, this is almost like a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view quality.
No, it is. I'm. Like here's the best part is if you have tickets to this, you're seeing 2 hours of Dynamite and 2 hours of Rampage. Okay. You're seeing all this in one fucking night. Okay. Look at this. It's going to be, I'm been predicting it. I'm saying this is the greatest night in wrestling history. Like, what's even happening? You have to kind of just take a second and take a step back and then look at this card. It's like an eye test. It's like, am I really seeing Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson?
I know.
For the
and it's
AEW world title in Queens at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
It's actually a non-title match. It doesn't matter. But it was in that. It was in that
non-title match.
Yeah, it was. He said it in the. Danielson said it in the promo. I don't even want the title. We can worry about the title at a later date. And then the Road to Grand Slam.
Oh shit!
They mentioned they're not putting it up. It does. It to me it doesn't matter. Because
then Danielson's probably going to win, right?
Perhaps, but I think I don't know. I think it could go either way, but it's just like they're kind of pushing it as like it's the dream match, but it's a way to get around the ranking system, which they have the rankings, which can be it's kind of a crutch, but it can be problematic and it can get in the way of good storytelling. But
right.
I think they're going to use it and just be like, well, I want to go after you. He kind of insults his masculinity in some way. So Kenny Omega automatically is like, I'll do the match, because in that promo, I think it was last week, Danielson says, we'll worry about the title at a later time. Yeah, but
now that I'm thinking about it,
who cares? It's still going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, who cares, right? Like isn't that the best part about it?
Yeah.
And guess what? Like, at least they have this ranking system. At least they acknowledge it. At least they make it make sense. At least Daniel Bryan knows that he's stepping over people. He acknowledges that. He's like, but this is what's happening, because everybody knows this needs to happen. That's why I said, when I said it on the Cow podcast, and I was like, yo, if they're just going to bring Punk and Danielson back, just have them wrestle each other. I mean, just go. Like, but guess what? All right, we're getting probably the better version of that. And it's Danielson versus Omega, because Danielson's on fire. He's still going. I mean, he's produced, he was just in the main event of WrestleMania, like fucking 6 months ago. Okay, let's think about that.
That's really
Pull
hard
yourself
to believe.
away again. Here's another layer. Bryan Danielson was Daniel Bryan, and he got stacked like a fucking short stack at IHOP with Edge by fucking Roman Reigns, and now he's just showing up on AEW.
Hate to bring this up, but he got stacked like you did.
He did. I was hoping I laid that one up for you. That was like Stockton to Malone there. By the way, if somehow this becomes a visual medium, my face is very red, around my eyes are very white. I just got a facial treatment called microneedling. I need to probably rehydrate. I shouldn't be drinking a beer probably. But my face is red. I got literally needles jabbed into my face, but apparently it helps with aging and I don't know, stuff. So anyway, hopefully no one has a burnt face on TV like my face looks, because
it's all good.
This shit,
not that bad.
I'm so hyped for Aleister Black in AEW.
Yes.
Can we just move on to that guy?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I texted you last night. I was like, you got to watch this Road to whatever it is, Road to Grand Slam.
I'm glad you did, because I loved it. 25
minutes or so. Starts off, I mean, it was the best Kenny's ever looked in AEW. He's got this stupid ass blue suit on. Spoiler alert. And he's just justifying and saying all the right things. Don Callis, 10 out of 10 manager. I don't think, is he the best manager in wrestling right now? I don't think anybody touches him, right? Like, he's just on another level. And then Daniel Bryan, just like again, like we just talked about, just justifying everything. But then Aleister Black comes on and just completely, like, no Cody, right?
Yeah.
There was that was just an all Aleister Black promo.
And footage, yeah. And Amazing Grace. It's kicked off with Amazing Grace.
And this is where my brain goes now, Philip. All right. My brain goes to the day Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black are toe-to-toe in the middle of an AEW ring.
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking, like, it's happening. Everything I said was going to happen is going to happen. I'm telling you right now, this is why they tiptoe with Tullo, okay? This is why the name exists, all right? I say these things. I said a long time ago to Dan, I said, I remember the episode, I was like, when is Daniel Bryan's contract up? And he looked it up, and they're like, unknown. I go, as soon as that thing is up, he is out of here. It's not even a question. And then the rumors started to swirl about his contract like a month ago. And I'm like, I bet he's gone. He's been gone. He's been doing some jabroni stuff on NXT just to pass his time. And then boom, it happens. And it's like my mind is blown. So now the next best thing, the next person has to be Bray, right?
Right.
I don't think they're doing anything else. I think they're going to hold back a little bit more, but Bray is the guy. And when Aleister Black and Bray Wyatt stand toe-to-toe in the ring, you're going to lose your fucking mind.
Right. And because, like, one thing they've done so well is, like, Malachi Black, I loved Aleister Black's theme song. I loved his entrance in WWE and NXT. And that was one of those things that was like, I love this. This guy is, like, legit. And I just love his look. Just this dark, spooky dude. And it works, and it totally works. And I'm just like, well, when he shifts over, he won't have that music anymore, that beautiful music. And if he didn't level up with his entrance now, and that skull mask, that thing he's wearing, and the way it goes black, and then he's like almost teleports from the ring, the entrance, the ramp to the ring post to the ring. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. And I'm just like, I sent it. I have a friend from graduate school. He's a big metalhead. He watched some wrestling back in the day, but I was just like, I was like, you'd be into Malachi Black. I know you would. And I was like, just watch his entrance. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
And he's just like, okay. So I mean, I'm like, he's going to get people in that may not have been in, and it's awesome. And then he's fighting, Cody Rhodes, who kind of paints himself as a little, I don't know, just like the savior of modern wrestling. And he's kind of this like ultimate good guy with his reality shows and all this stuff. And I love it.
That's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
Right. And I honestly think he is nailing the part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we won't really try and cross over too much, but what proof is NXT rebranded for a reason, okay?
Yeah.
All right. And that reason was because AEW just beat them fair and square. And I'm not like, all right, it wasn't really like that, but that's the truth, right? So it happened. I mean, even I think Triple H just had something crazy health-wise, but right. I'm sure there was a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, and that caused a lot of crazy things. And honestly, NXT getting rebranded, I was very skeptical of it, but now I'm like, that's interesting. I don't know what's going on over there, but people are talking about it and people are into it. People like the fresh face, the facelift. Like, this is important for WWE to have something fresh and new, because guess what? As much as I loved NXT and I was an NXT fan, I just stopped watching.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Completely.
And it's just because, I mean, I think just all elite wrestling is just more my style. It's what I like. Everybody has their tastes, their preferences. This is kind of more up my alley. Hey, did you happen to Jericho interviewed 2.0, the tag team 2.0?
I didn't listen to it. Was it amazing?
It's good. It's really good because, they like trained with Kevin Owens. Yeah. And so they kind of knew him from back in the day. But one thing they said that was really interesting was they it was before the branding was announced. That's part of the reason why they were fired, is because they were fired because they were already planning to do this, go a different style, because they were too small. They didn't want the 205 Live kind of crew. And so they were already cleaning house before, kind of we got wind of it as the public. But it was really interesting because they were just like, that was in the plan months ago. And they got fired way early. But they're doing great. I love them. I didn't know who they were.
I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah.
It's NXT 2.0 and they're called 2.0.
Yeah. I think that's just a coincidence, but
or maybe it's a jab. I don't know.
They were called that. Actually, they were in the interview. They were called that in the indie scene before they joined.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's funny though. That's funny. It's still at the same point. That's still funny.
Yeah. But it's a happy coincidence. But it's a good interview. You should check it out. It was it made me realize, I was like, oh, they were planning to do this for a while, earlier than people caught on.
It's just so crazy what's going on over there. You look at the cards too, and then now you're gonna have Moxley, by the way, GCW champion. That's so fucking cool. Yeah. Okay, Moxley and Eddie Kingston from New York. The pop. Let me tell you something. There's gonna be some really loud pops tonight. Really, really, you're gonna hear pops like you've never heard pops before. But I honestly think, and I'm talking about pops for Daniel Bryan, pops for CM Punk. I honestly think the pop that Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley will get. Unfortunately, Kingston doesn't get his own entrance. He should in this instance. And he should probably come out to DMX. He's always rocking the DMX stuff. If he came out to DMX tonight, I'd literally cry. But the pop Kingston and Moxley are going to get tonight is going to be insane.
What DMX song would he come out to? Can we pause for that for a second?
Oh, man.
Would it be the Rough Rider anthem?
Yeah, probably.
It had to be, right?
Stop, drop.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh dude.
But they'll come out through the crowd and it's gonna be amazing because the crowd's gonna be going nuts. I mean, that's one of the things that
the Rampage.
That's one of the things, Tullo, that I love about like the presentation is when you have like Moxley and Eddie Kingston. He's amazing. It's like you watch like Moxley coming through and just the way they kind of like mug for the camera and the way they like present themselves. It's just like, it's so cool. And it's like every time you see like
exactly what he's doing, dude. He's the most pro wrestler there is.
Yeah.
This guy, I'm so happy for him, man. I just wish he would just like keep the gear that he wears like when he's not wrestling. Like don't wear that gear, other gear, but he's so tied to it. That's my only criticism of him. But I saw this guy wrestle on Evolve, like on the Evolve circuit, so many different indie shows. And he's like always, I'm like, damn, this is a cool fucking dude, man. He's fucking, he's so slick. He's fucking a tough dude. And he shows up at AEW and he has just, he's like the veteran. He's like that veteran in the locker room that you like pray for on your championship team. Like they are the guy that take you to the Super Bowl and get you to the dance. Without them, you wouldn't have made it. But they may not produce like big titles and stuff, but they are there to fucking make things right. And when that dude grabs the microphone after shows are over and he's talking to the crowd, every word he says he means. He's genuine. He truly thinks, he believes in AEW. He thinks AEW is but this is like just not him. Now that has translated across, you got guys like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. Everybody's speaking the same language there. And honestly, even the people who had to take a step down, they're on Dark and Elevation wrestling matches. They're fucking pumped too because they know when they get their shot, they got to be ready to fucking come up and wrestle. Right. Look at fucking Brian Pillman Jr., okay? Talk about a guy that has worked his fucking ass off. He looks like he's in insane shape, and he's got himself a match against MJF, who hometown heat talk about. I've never heard of, like, hometown heat is crazy. Like, that's like Jordan coming to the Garden kind of shit. Like, MJF, that's a bold comparison, but like, or I'm trying to think of like a player coming back to like the Yankees, like after he left, like whatever. Or Johnny Damon going back to fucking Fenway, after now he's with the Yankees. It's just perfect, dude. There's opportunities. Like, but now you look across the card and you're like, wow, the only really faces that you see are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That 8-man tag has, other than the Lucha Bros, has some of the originals, but everybody else is kind of new. Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, everybody else is fucking big. I mean, Hobbs versus CM Punk. I mean, like I'm looking all over the place right now, but this is what you call being super mark. You're super marking out.
That's what this show will end up being, because I'm not gonna push back on much of this, because like Powerhouse Hobbs, I really like him, and like you haven't seen too much of him, but they've been building him up a little bit in the past couple weeks for this match, and you're just like that. I mean, you just want to see CM Punk go against like a huge dude like Hobbs, and the fact that he's kind of he's not. I don't know. He's not the Big Show. So I love it, I'm going to ask you the hardest question ever.
Okay,
go ahead.
What card do you like more? Dynamite or Rampage?
Now,
I mean, there's no championship matches on Rampage. So immediately, there's actually, isn't Miro wrestling somebody or no? Is that not happening?
I don't know on this card. Yeah, I don't know. They don't have it on this, but yeah, he was.
I mean, what card do you like more? I mean, you got, all right, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, not for the title, we're officially announcing. Baker versus Ruby Soho for the title. Cody versus Malachi. FTR versus Sting and Darby, okay?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
MJF versus Brian Pillman, CM Punk interview. Or you go Eddie Kingston Moxley versus fucking Suzuki and fucking Archer, okay? You got a 6-man tag with the Super Click with Cole and the Bucks versus Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian. You got Punk versus Rampage. You got Jericho and fucking Jake versus men of the year. And then you got this insane 8-man tag where all of these guys are pretty much from New York.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, you get a little Penelope Ford with Anna Jay, number 99, the great one.
Well,
I mean, like,
here's what I'll say. I think, and this might just be my bias. I much more prefer like one-on-one matches, and Dynamite has
more of that.
Most of the card is one-on-ones, so I'm leaning more towards that card. Even though I know that the Super Click versus Luchasaurus and all and Cage and all that. And then like that 8-man tag. I mean, they've got it. Penta.
Well, here's the thing.
Pentagon
I think
Jr.
I just realized something very unique. Dynamite, Rampage. They kind of are very. These cards are very on brand for those names.
Right.
Rampage is legit Rampage. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be. There's gonna be a lot of the kind of stickler for the rules, which I don't know why you are when you watch wrestling, getting annoyed that the ref isn't
none of that's happening.
They're not holding the tag rope and there's too many people in the ring. That's gonna happen the whole time on Friday.
Yeah. Tonight it's gonna be fucking by the book. Like legit. I mean, there'll be a whole lot of schmaz.
Oh yeah.
I see a lot of schmaz.
Especially in that Omega is gonna be up to something,
MJF will be. Britt Baker, always up to something. She's the greatest heel ever. I mean, I'm just going to go there. I mean.
You know what I love? Is
she's got a baby.
Yeah. One of the things I love is like that promo that Ruby Soho and Baker had. And they're doing a back and forth. And, Ruby Soho has that big line, which everybody's going to give which is, you're banging a dude in the back. Yeah. And if you watch that, I don't know if you notice, but you watch Britt Baker, go back and watch that. If you haven't, go back and watch Britt Baker after that. Yeah. And she kind of turns to the side, looks up and is just like, yeah, that's true. And that's when you're just like, oh, she's doing amazing work because she's just like, yeah. So, so and it's not like one of those things where typically, I'll just say real quick, typically they would react like, oh, how dare you say that? But she just kind of looks, it's like, yeah, whatever.
I got the feeling of like, damn, good. Like that kind of vibe from her too. Yeah. And here's the thing. I know culture wise, we don't want to really be promoting that like as a thing. Like, and it's coming from a woman, talking to another woman. Yeah. Fucking Roman Reigns is telling John Cena that he lost Nikki Bella because he 20 minutes of missionary, whatever, right. Maybe we're not trying to like do that. But when I agree with that kind of thing, it's like, do we really need to say that? Like, that's how women's wrestling is. Like all the women sleep with all the guys in the back. No, but I take myself a step back and I say, well, it is professional wrestling and it is a TV show. And that's a line that would exist in a TV show. Like you take a dig at a chick for banging a dude, like, and he's here now in the back. Like I see that as a line that two women talked about and agreed upon. Or maybe Ruby just busted it out and she freestyled it and that's why it took Britt by surprise, but they're comfortable with it. I thought the line was very well delivered and I thought and talk about a moment like Ruby Soho also got her ass verbally beat down in that. Like Britt Baker really like lined her up and threw some stiff punches, like the catering lines, the fucking rank, like everything, whatever she could throw at her, she took every jab. I'm pumped for this match.
Yeah, like, no, it's going to be great. I think it'll be great. I really like Ruby Soho and like, so, and obviously Baker's, she's awesome. Should stay the champ. I expect her to win. I want her to win, but it's going to be awesome. It's great. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards Dynamite. What about you, Tullo?
I'm in this state of watching wrestling now where I'm just looking for the best time.
Yeah.
And I think you can find that in a lot of places right now. We talked about it a little bit, like GCW is always a good time. If you've never been to a GCW show, they come to your town, go. If you can travel a little bit, go. GCW is one of the coolest in-person wrestling experiences around. That being said, AEW is just a good time. This Rampage card is just absolutely insanity. Like I have a tough time maintaining focus during wrestling now. It's easy to get lost in your phone. You're scrolling through. Also, I haven't really been watching live as much.
Yeah,
I know Rampage will keep my attention. I don't think there's going to be a second where I'm not going to want to be looking. Maybe I can take my fucking heat up my food, Chris Jericho versus Jake Hager and Men of the Year. But also they've really built that matchup really well. Like this top team stuff, like what does this mean? What's going on? I want an answer to it, but like, are these guys going to show up? Are we going to get MMA fighters like involved? I mean, we have seen a cage match between two wrestlers shoot MMA fight. If Bloodsport comes in and becomes a part of like AEW on like some shows and stuff, like, or gets involved in some kind of way, insanity. That's just a whole nother level. Guy,
the thing that makes me laugh is this Dan Lambert. I hate this guy so bad, but I'm supposed to. So I'm like, is he good? Or, and then the other thing, I just love American Top Team or whatever this team is called. It's like, that is the most like just first draft, first thought, just terrible name, but it works because he's just like this lame boomer with his like polo tucked in.
So mad. Like, what are you so mad about,
ranting.
Bro?
What
are you mad about?
Oh my God.
I don't get
I wonder if
you're
he's
so
like
mad.
I wonder if he's like the like low key the kind of commentary on like Jim Cornette, that type of wrestling fan that's like running their mouth about, but like my brother did it the other day. I was talking to my brother about we were talking about All Out, and he said something about hating on like Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and I'm like, you know what you did? It's like you listen to Jim Cornette. It's like that's your problem. And he kind of pulled back, was just like, oh yeah, I do. I'm like, I'm having fun. I think they lean into it more when he runs his mouth.
I am so excited to see like what the Elite are gonna do next. Like,
give it to me.
And then you get the inside stuff on BTE when they got the cameras behind the scenes, and you see the other shit too. I haven't been this happy about wrestling, and that's why I wanted to do this, is because it needs to be talked about. Everybody should be feeling this way. If you're not, and you just don't like it, that's cool.
Yeah.
But hopefully, and I'm gonna pay something forward that someone did to me once, and she'll probably listen to this. Oh, I hope it's here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I don't have the actual note, but a long time ago, and she's traveling to New York right now. Emily James Scott, the merch maven. Some of you might know if you're a Cow fan or in the Discord, patreon.com/comedians wrestling. One of the best wrestling community like things around is that Discord. For $2 you can get it. So
definitely
join. Maybe one day we'll have our own Discord, whatever this show ends up being. So she gets me that pin, and while she's in Chicago, probably for like All Out or something, I think, or like the original All Out.
Wait, you didn't say what kind of pin it was. You just showed it to me.
Oh, it was Inner Circle, right? I forgot. I'm sorry, I forgot.
That's all good. It's an Inner
Circle pin, the original like logo. I think they still have the same one. And she writes in the note like, "Hey, I'm getting you this pin." Like she mailed it to me and everything. She's like, "I'm getting you this pin with the hopes that one day you'll come around on like AEW and you'll become a fan, and then you'll have this." So back on.
Yeah.
And because in the original, I wasn't that I was hating on AEW. I just didn't believe the hype was really real at that time, because it just didn't seem that all that great. Like, I got work, probably, yes. But at the time, it wasn't what everybody was making it to be. And then shit start like it. Okay, kept watching though. Never missed an episode. Just watch. And I'm like, all right. And then when Dark came around, and then you got to see more talent, and then this person signed and that person signed, and then they all of a sudden started to figure out these storylines. It became like this amazing thing,
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm all on board. Like sometimes you don't have to like everything because it's in the genre of something you like. It's like saying, oh, like fucking Ninja Turtles are your favorite thing, but that doesn't mean you have to like X-Men, Right. It's like,
or it's like, you don't like every single rock and roll band when you're a rock, like rock and roll. It's like,
exactly. And what this company has done is made made me enjoy wrestling to a point where, and I don't want to hate on AEW anymore, WWE anymore. I have no desire to. I'm not watching as much. Do I think they have cool shit going on? Yeah. But to take up time of my day, when I find time to watch, I'll just turn it on. But it's really not grabbing my attention.
Yeah.
Especially the way NXT used to grab it. SmackDown, there's good things happening. But like, I don't, until it's consistent and they make it make sense. Also, they got this draft coming up. So like, things are about to go crazy again over there. So I'm just like, you know what? I was like, you know what? AEW is just there. It's always there. It's like someone you can lean on. It's not going anywhere. And now it's just like, fuck. I mean, I'm really fucking excited to watch Dynamite tonight. Like, I am for free on my couch. I'm going to crack open some beers. I'm going to probably make another sandwich. And I'm going to have the best time ever. I'm going to obviously smoke a bong. But I'm going to have the best time ever. And it's gonna be something I'm gonna like. That's why I keep hyping it up. It's like, this is gonna be like the greatest week of wrestling that we've had. That you get 4 fucking complete hours to this. You see the cream of the crop, the best wrestlers in the world, and it's only gonna just keep raising things around. Look at WWE. I mean, Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns versus Big E as your main event on Monday Night Raw. People are talking about Raw into it. People are getting back into NXT too with the rebrand. People are into that. People are talking about wrestling. It's AEW has lifted WWE, like almost like kind of like shook it a little bit, you know?
That Raw was in Raleigh. So, it's like 20 minutes from me, right? 30-minute drive. And Patrick texted me that Monday night. He was like, I think we should have gone to Raw. I was like, of course, I wasn't even paying attention. I was like doing something else. I was like, wait, what's going on? And then you hear about it. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh well. But
also,
that's the thing.
3 hours. It's a long time to sit there in a crowd. And if it's not all that entertaining, it doesn't really help the vibe of the rest of it. You know, like when you go to AEW, you get the show, and then after it, you get dark. Like, and that's cool because then now you get to see fresh talent, and like Tony Khan comes out, stay around. We got fucking the Lucha Bros, and like you're like, all right, dope. Like, and then Fuego del Sol comes out and he gets the loudest pop of the night. You know, it's like, it's just fun, man. Have you been to an AEW show?
Not yet. I have not. They came to Charlotte recently, and it's hard. Like, going to Charlotte's like a 2.5 hour drive. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to like do that on a weeknight.
Right.
You know, with everything. And so like, I haven't done it. If they're coming to Raleigh, like I said, if they come to Raleigh, which I think eventually they will, I'm there. There's no way I'm not there.
Well, here's a little life hack for you.
Yeah.
Revolve maybe a family trip. Around a location that you can go.
Yeah.
Dad sneaks out to go to fucking Dynamite on a Wednesday, but then Thursday we're at the fucking zoo.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah, zoo and ice cream. But I'm really tired by the back of my head. I'm like, oh man, I got to see Sting again. You know. Well, you kind of touched on it, and I want to do this. I want to do a little segment. I'm going to pitch a name. If you don't like it, we'll throw it away, and you'll get to see I want to talk about the light and the dark. So I want to talk about these dark shows. And you don't always see them because they're on YouTube. It's too much wrestling. But I love that. Just the matches.
That was really well done. And you know what that does? Now I'm going to watch Dark and Elevation all the time. So let's go.
Well, and so it's a lot to watch. And honestly, like there's some, I'm hitting that 10-second, 15-second ahead. But there's a few matches. Go out of your way to see these. These are great this week. The first one I want to mention, probably one of the best matches I saw this week, or maybe even this month. Sonny Kiss versus Joey Janela. Did you see this?
Shit. No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I saw Sonny posted a clip, and I was like, can't wait to watch this match.
I don't want to overstate it, and I'm not one to be hyperbolic.
No.
Sometimes
Mark
I am,
out, bro.
But it is like a pay-per-view quality match. It's Love like that. Maybe like a third, fourth, fifth match in a solid pay-per-view. It could have been on one of those.
It should have been on one of these two shows.
Yes.
Not going to lie.
It was.
It would have been nice to cut one of these tag matches on Rampage. Actually, you really can't. Maybe postpone the top team stuff till the following day.
Cut the CM Punk. I'm about to wrestle.
Yeah, cut that CM Punk
in 2 days. Okay? Just show up on Friday. But it was a great match. I got to say, like, Sonny Kiss killed it. It was like a blood feud from a former tag team.
Hell yeah.
So I had that heat. Janela gets busted open. I don't know how, like hard way or not, but that adds to it. And then like Kayla Rossi, I didn't know who that was before,
Beast.
and she just looks awesome. And it's just like she adds to the match too. And you're just
Are we
like,
gonna get a Kayla Rossi versus Sunny Kiss match?
I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't mind it. So
if it's gonna happen, AEW. But here's the beauty of what you're saying too, is because that storyline was sprinkled maybe into a Dynamite. Maybe like they did the original tag team promos, which were fun, and the top down things. So, and then it was like, hey guys, we're not giving up on this storyline. We actually wanted to evolve. How about you fucking tell it over Dark and Elevation?
But I will say, I don't think the way they ended it, I'm not going to spoil anything because I want people to watch it. But it looks like it's not over. So it's not a complete like blow off match. It's not over. The Dark Order, they like fought each other. That was a really great storytelling match. Did you see that one by chance?
No, I haven't watched any of Dark or Elevation yet. But now that I'm hearing the matches that you're gonna suggest,
just watch those. Yeah, watch those matches. Yeah. Go back and watch those. So if you don't see them, like I'm telling the audience, check these out. Colt Cabana, he's really underrated as a storyteller. Like the storytelling, it's not like a hard hitting, hardcore match, technical masterpiece. But storytelling wise, it was awesome because it's these two tag teams, but they're part of the same group fighting each other. Mm-hmm. One was very reluctant. Colt Cabana was tagged with Evil Uno. Who's pissed off at these guys, wants to like beat them up and show them who's boss. Colt Cabana wouldn't do strike moves at the beginning. He's only doing wrestling, like mat wrestling, because he doesn't want to hit his buddies, and stuff like that.
Is that something that you noticed, or is that something that they're talking
I noticed
about?
it, but they were also mentioning in the commentary.
Gotcha.
Eddie Kingston's on commentary during this, and he does a great job. Of course, also Paul White's on it, and he's a little annoying, but you can get past it because Tony Schiavone and Eddie Kingston make up for it. But check those out, definitely. I would say on Dark, that was Dark Elevation. I get them mixed up, but Dark is cool because they're in the studio now.
Oh, that's right.
And there were a lot of debuts, including like Allie Katch had a match with Big Swole. So it was cool to see her. I
was going to mention that. Yeah, Allie Katch, talk about GCW being something you need to go see. If you go see GCW, you will see Allie Katch. Shout out to fucking the Second Gear crew.
Yeah.
My boy Real Homie Juice, AJ Gray, fucking Mans. Dude, GCW is so much fun. But Allie Katch has been busting her ass, man. It is really cool to see how she has like, get a little spiritual here for a second, but she's legit manifested this. I follow her. If you don't follow her on Instagram or Twitter, you should. She's an incredible follow on both. She literally just like said, fuck it, I'm going all in. Her character is amazing. She is a technical fucking assassin of a wrestler. She is so dirty. She's insane. She just chased fucking Paul Shear around the fucking ring with a switchblade. Okay,
yeah, there you go.
Her character is insane. She's also part of Bussy with fucking
Effie.
With Effie, who, if you don't know who Effie is, please also fucking follow Effie as well. Probably the greatest professional wrestler out there right now.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I got some insane Effie merch recently, but you get to see Allie Katch here, and now that's happening because they kind of almost went the NXT route, right? Taking over Universal Orlando, right?
Right.
And they have this home for it now, and they're gonna regret. And all these indie wrestlers are gonna come in. They're gonna get paid. They're gonna get an opportunity to be on Dark. This is a show that hey, listen, this Dark Order stuff and this Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss stuff got the bump from Dynamite and Rampage shows probably, but they're getting, I just looked it up, 310,000 views on YouTube like for their show. So like people are watching, people are tuning in. So tell your stories.
Yeah.
Fucking like this is a company that just has a formula. And they keep enhancing it and keep making it better. And it's paying off big time. And I'm telling you right now, when the new year comes around, 2022, when they start to get like fresh faces in there and this young and up and coming talent starts to challenge the old vets and push them to get out the end. Guys like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. I mean,
so
yeah, and I will say that, that match, it was just cool to see her. The other one, I'd say this show, Dark, was not as good, I don't think, as Dark Elevation. It's a lot longer too. Sometimes it's too much.
I really like Elevation.
But the FTR versus Anthony Green and Stallion Rogers, that was a great match. It's just a good match.
I put that on your radar, right?
Yeah, you did. And so I was making sure I, didn't skip through it, and it wasn't a squash, and it was like a solid match. It was great. Yeah. So got to check that one out.
Yeah, those guys. So, and what you didn't know was Anthony Green and Stallion. Was he going by Stallion Rogers?
Yeah, that's what they.
Kurt Stallion and Anthony Green. And then before that, shit, I'm blanking on their names in the indie circuit. But those guys were on Evolve, and I saw Anthony Green have a spot in Evolve where he grabbed like a balloon, and at that moment I was like, that guy is going to be a star. Like, what an incredible spot. Springboard, like, fucking grabs the balloon that's hanging from the ceiling thing. They both go to NXT, and they were just part of the cuts recently.
Right, yeah.
And now, like, they got to fucking get back on their horse, no pun intended for Stallion Rogers, but get back on the horse and get themselves in a match with FTR on, like, Dark. Like, come on.
It was a great, like, competitive.
Can't wait to watch it.
I mean, luckily FTR gave them something to do. And so it was really cool.
So yeah, anything else? I mean, I'm just pumped for these two shows. Not sure when this is gonna come out, so we have already watched all the things, and so this is kind of like a preview of how we're feeling. So I wonder how spot on we are with some of our predictions and shit.
I kind of like these. I like prediction shows. I not only beforehand, but I also like listening to them afterwards. I don't know how other people feel about them, because it's funny to hear like what people are thinking. Even with the knowledge, like the dramatic irony of knowing what's actually going to happen.
We're such idiots. Probably should just pick things. Should we do a rapid fire so we could go back and reference it? Okay, rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah.
Kenny or Danielson? Gun to the head. You got to just
Kenny.
go.
Kenny.
I also think Kenny. Britt or Soho?
Britt.
I'd say Britt. Malachi or Cody? I say Malachi.
Yeah, same.
FTR or Sting and Darby? Starby, I'm going to call.
I think, yeah, the good guys.
I think Sting and Darby. I'm actually going to go FTR here.
You think so? Okay.
So that's our one difference so far. Okay. MJF or Pillman Jr.?
MJF's got to win that one.
I think MJF too.
Yeah.
Okay. We got over to Rampage. Archer and Suzuki or Kingston and Moxley?
Hometown Boy's going to win that one.
Yeah, Hometown Boy, right? Super Click versus Jungle Boy Christian. I say Super Click.
Yeah, by shenanigans.
Yeah. We got Powerhouse Hobbs versus Punk. Punk, right?
Punk is going to win. I'd love to see Hobbs like beat Punk, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Men of the Year versus Inner Circle.
Ooh, this one's kind of hard.
I don't even know. Flip a coin?
I think.
Which one are you going to take? I'll take the opposite.
Well, I haven't seen. I think I'll say Men of the Year, because they haven't even actually been.
Like they can't lose.
Yeah,
like he's their guy. So if they lose, then what is he? Then this whole thing was a waste, right? So I feel like Men of the Year. So I think we're both doing Men of the Year.
Yeah.
All right, Lucha Brothers, Santana Ortiz versus Private Party and Butcher and the Blade.
The good guys, the Lucha Bros, and
I say Lucha Bros and Santana Ortiz, right? And then that will start the feud for the titles, right?
Yeah.
And then Penelope Ford and number 99, the Great One, Anna Jay.
I say Anna Jay wins that. Or there may be some kind of mess up and there's a non-finish and they continue.
We'll go back and listen to this.
Yeah.
You a gambling man? Do you like to gamble?
Very low stakes, but yeah.
Okay. How about loser buys like a grab bag merch from PWT for the other guy?
Sure, we'll do that.
I think it's like 15.
We can't do that every week, but we'll do that from time to time.
No, just the big show.
Yeah, I got you.
Inaugural bet.
Yeah.
First time ever. We got to do it.
Okay.
All right, 6.
Sounds
so good. Yeah, I'm not sure when you guys are going to hear this, but feedback would be awesome. We're going to this is our pilot. So whatever you have, honest opinions, things you would like to see, things that if you were into it, just let us know.
Yeah.
You can hit up on Twitter, on social media, at Tiptoe with Tullo on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, whatever. Message, post stuff. I don't really care. And Phil, if you want to plug Stoke County Boys.
Yeah. Stokes County Boys podcast. You want to hear me run my mouth about other things besides wrestling. and sometimes wrestling, or how I'll connect these other things to wrestling. And at SC Boys Pod on Twitter, at Stokes County Boys on Instagram. We're having fun over there.
Yeah, hell yeah. And also Cow Podcast,
man.
at Cow Podcast, Comedians Wrestling Podcast. You can find me on there on the Patreon. We have a pretty fun Patreon announcement coming out for a new show.
Oh, nice.
So that's another thing that's on the horizon. But yeah, I'm pumped. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, loved
Great time. I'm probably going to be texting you throughout the entire fucking Dynamite now. Okay,
I will note that I may not be watching live, but
okay.
That's one thing we got with
there. Text me when you're live.
All right, I'll let you know because I got one more episode of the Netflix show Squid Game that I'm watching with my wife, which is an awesome show. So we got to watch that tonight, and then after that, I'm wrestling.
What I like to say to get people pumped up about things is, let's fucking go. Fire me up, okay? Phil, awesome time, man.
Yeah. Hey, gotta say, Tullo, great idea. I love your ideas.
Yeah, this is it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna keep workshopping it. Give us your feedback.
Yeah.
Big smooches to everybody. We love you.